Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. I have the Estee Lauder Holiday Blockbuster for 2022 to try on. This is one of those things that for many years I used to get every single year. I got it last year, and I will tell you, when I saw what they were doing for this year, I was super excited. The way the Blockbuster works is by making an initial purchase of $45 or more, and then you're allowed to purchase this for an additional $79. Now, it says right here on the box, it has a $570 value. Holiday Blockbuster is one of my favorite things from Estee Lauder. I realized there were a few products that I really love and trust from Estee Lauder. They tend to be base products, concealer, foundation, and then a lot of the other products that I use from the brand, I usually get in sets like this, and especially at the holidays. So today we're going to take a look at whether this is actually worth the purchase. I'm going to start out, I don't have any skincare on, and my face is feeling rather tight. I'm going to start by putting on the skincare included in here. The first thing that they give you is their iconic Advanced Night Repair. They also give you a little teeny tiny travel size, which I think is great. I don't know how many years they've been doing it, but I remember last year they gave you a full size and a travel size. So I'm going to start with a little bit of this on my face. This is one of those products that I used to use a lot when I was younger, because I would always get Estee Lauder when they were in gift, and they always included a sample size, like a 7 to 10 day trial size of their Advanced Night Repair. And I was getting the gift with purchase, and I had so many little teeny tiny bottles of Advanced Night Repair running around. I always had some on hand. It has a very familiar smell, but it doesn't really smell fragranced. If you are an Advanced Night Repair user, you know the scent I'm talking about, but it doesn't actually smell like they include a fragrance in here, which I appreciate that there's no fragrance in here. This full-size Advanced Night Repair is valued at $79, $18 for the mini. And the mini, you're getting 0.23 fluid ounces, so it's not quite a quarter of an ounce, but it's almost like 1 1/4 of this. I feel like it's a really good way to try this. For basically the price of the serum, you're getting everything else in this set. Another Advanced Night Repair product they include in here is their eye cream. This is the Advanced Night Repair Eye Supercharged Gel Cream. And they, of course, give you a little mini of this too. This is one of those products that I have purchased on my own multiple times. I have purchased, the Advanced Night Repair on its own. I do have full-size bottles. It wasn't just the samples. But this is one of those products that I feel like is great. The older I get, I feel like this is really the sort of product that I like under my eyes, because it's hydrating without being greasy. It's not overly emollient. And I really feel like, oh yeah, my under eyes were feeling so dry. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to not put my skincare on right after getting out of the shower, which is what I normally do. But I was like, I want to be able to sit down and I want to be able to put it on and show you what it's like. So my skin has been in a moment of panic. Another skincare item they include is a sample size as well as a full size of their Revitalizing Supreme Plus. You know what I like is that I know that Estee Lauder is starting to do more refillable packaging, even with their skincare, and I love that this is one of those where you can keep the jar and just buy the refill. And I'm so glad that they put the refill packaging in here, as opposed to just putting in like maybe back stock of like the old packaging that they had that was non-refillable. I think that's fantastic. This 1 ounce size is $64, and the travel size are giving you, this was interesting because on the website, they sell this mini, they sell this mini, and they don't sell one this size. This is 0.24 ounces. They do sell a ½ ounce for $29. So I'm just gonna call this $14.50 because it's just shy of a quarter of an ounce. When I have used this in the past, it feels very thick and very plush. I might have put too much on. I'll tell you, maybe it's not a bad thing, because my skin was complaining that I hadn't, put my skincare on right out of the shower. My skin is feeling plumped, moisturized. And the nice thing is, even though I was worried I might have put on a little bit too much of the Super Revitalizing face cream, I don't really feel like, my face just feels nice and plump, and it doesn't feel greasy. Last skincare item in here is their Gentle Eye Makeup Remover. This is a full size. It's valued at $24. I'll tell you, out of all of the high-end makeup removers, especially the eye makeup removers, this is probably my least favorite. I prefer something that is biphase. I do have a fave. It's not this one. And I still have last year's full-size Gentle Eye Makeup Remover in my skincare closet, and I haven't used it. So this is not one of the things that adds value to this set for me, but it is part of the set. To try the rest of the things on, I need to get a little bit of a base down, and I'll be right back. The last 6 items in this set are all makeup items. I am going to start with the mascara because I want to finish my eye look today. I have not ever really fallen in love with their Sumptuous Extreme Mascara. That's okay. I know mascara really depends on, one, the type of lashes that you have, the type of look that you're going for, and then, you know, the type of lifestyle that you have. If you are one of those people who has watery eyes, certain formulas just are not the best. This is one that I find I get smudging and a little bit of flaking from. Because it is a $30 mascara, it's not one that I ever go and purchase on its own. I have never ever been devoted to this mascara, but I'll put it on for you today. The one thing I should tell you about my lashes are short, my lashes are straight, they kind of point downwards, they're very kind of ho-hum. I don't have long extravagant lashes, but I'm one of those people that mascara makes a big difference on me. So I'm going to put this on. This has that really traditional kind of Christmas tree shaped wand. It's not spiky. It's not one of those rubber bristle wands. This is what one coat of the Sumptuous Extreme Mascara looks like. I'm going to put on a second coat before it fully dries. And there we go. That's the mascara. The next thing I have for you is this face palette. This entire set comes with an option, and the only thing that is different between one set and the other is one comes with this cheek palette that has blush, highlight, and bronzer, and the other one comes with eyeshadows and I think a cheek product or two. And I decided, because I've never really been a big fan of the Estee Lauder eyeshadow formula, I decided to go for this set because the lipsticks are the same. The other set has an eyeliner instead of a lip liner, but everything else inside the set is the same. And I thought I would get more use out of the cheek products. Now, here's what's interesting. I already have a full size of this bronzer in Bronze Goddess. I already have it. This is their Bronze Goddess highlight. I already have a full size. It's a different shade. This is a golden shade called Heat Wave, but I already have these products. I feel like these products are really great. The one thing I haven't tried in a long time, and I know they recently reformulated and turned their packaging into refillable packaging, is their new blush formula. The shades in this palette, 2 out of the 3 are shades that you can actually purchase from Estee Lauder. One is the Bronze Goddess Bronzer in shade 02 Medium. Another is the Molten Mercury highlight in the Bronze Goddess formula, and it comes in different packaging than this. This one's several years old, but it's a baked gelée formula and it looks like this. And this is a more champagne shade, but the shade in here is a rose gold called Modern Mercury. They have a blush in here, and this one is called Rebel Rose, and it's shade 410. And what's interesting is in their regular line, they have a shade 420 called Rebellious Rose, but there is no Rebel Rose. So I wonder if this shade is slightly different. The number is different, the name is different, and I wonder if maybe the formula is different. I don't know. Another thing that I found really interesting is that in navy blue traditional Estee Lauder packaging, they have this exact, you know, with the imprint of the snowflakes on it, they have this exact palette on their website. It's currently sold out, but it was something you could purchase for $50, although it said they had an $88 value. So if we're thinking about value for this set, they placed the value for this at $88. Let's put some on though. I want to see what it looks like on. I'm going to start here with the Bronze Goddess, and I know I like this because I already got one. And this is one that I feel like they always put shade 02 in. I feel like, you know, shade 02 is good for me, and I wear one of the lightest shades. I think there's only one shade lighter in their Estee Lauder Double Wear. I wear the very lightest shade in their concealer. I wear shade 0.05. Like, I'm pretty fair. So if this shade is the one that I picked for myself in a full size, keep that in mind. I've always liked this formula. I feel like the powder is nice. It sits nicely on the face. It doesn't get too orange. It doesn't get to be, you know, too matte where it looks powdery and heavy. I feel like it's just a really nice formulation. All right, I'm gonna put the blush on next. I feel like the palette is cute. It does really remind me of last year's packaging. It's exactly the same size, it's the same color. The design on the front is different, but I like that we're getting a dedicated cheek palette. And I was thinking, you know, between everything that there is, which would I use more, the eyeshadow palette or the cheek palette? And definitely this. I feel like this is a really pretty blush shade. And I feel like I can really get more intensity if I really go for it, but I feel like, you know, just a light wash is really nice. I'm gonna put on this Modern Mercury highlight. Now this is kind of like a rose gold shade. I have never used this shade before. I usually go for the Heat Wave, which is more of the champagne gold in this formula. But I feel like it works really well over the top of, oh, there we go, over the top of this kind of more rose colored blush. I might have over highlighted. I feel like I went a little ham. Not only did I over blush, I over highlighted. I need to bring down the intensity. So what's interesting is that I feel like the Bronze Goddess shade in 02 is perfect for my fair skin. And I feel like you can get a lot more intensity out of the highlight and the blush. But I think overall it's really, really pretty. I do like it, but I might have gone a little overboard. These are finger swatches of every single one of the cheek products. And here's what they look like. I really built these up so you could get a good look at them. But as you can see, you can get a more diffused look depending on the application that you choose. But this is Rebel Rose, Modern Mercury, and Bronze Goddess 02 Medium. The last thing to try on are the lip products. So the one thing I'll tell you is, although these are 4 full-size products, a couple things are different. This is not normal packaging for their liner because their liner usually comes with the brush on the other end. Their lipsticks come in different packaging. I don't think I have any full-size lipsticks at the moment, and this gloss usually comes in different packaging. I would prefer if they put all of this sort of packaging in the sort of packaging that they use. Like, this is regular packaging, this is regular packaging, this is regular packaging. I feel like when they do this, they kind of make it a little bit less. Packaging aside, let's talk about the products themselves. I have not tried one of their glosses in a long time. And this one is in a fun shade. This is their shade Tender Trap. It's shade 107. So this is a brush applicator, by the way, which I kind of like. This is a really pretty lip gloss. The packaging is super cute. You have like the snowflakes and stars on here. The one thing that I probably am concerned about, although I do like the fact that, let me give you a little swatch in the back of my hand here. This is what it looks like. Although it does have this brush applicator, which I really like, I have found in the past when I have lip glosses that have brushes like this, if I'm not careful how I put them in, sometimes the gloss brush will start to splay out. And then every time I pull it out, there's, you know, a couple of bristles going this way and the other. And then as I'm applying it, I'm getting stuff where I don't want it. So just be careful as you put it back in. But I feel like it's a really pretty, but really quite pigmented shade. And I think it's beautiful on the lips. It's also one of those that is, there's some lip glosses that are like super goopy and super sticky. This doesn't feel sticky, but there's just a little bit of stick to it. And I like things that have a little bit of stick because it means it's going to keep it where I put it. I don't feel like it's so sticky that when I'm talking, you know, my lips are pulling apart and kind of like sticking together. The other thing that I think about is glosses. Like, the worst thing a gloss could do is be so sticky that it kind of and heavy that it settles into the corners. And then every time I talk, you see little strings of glosses, my lips come apart and it looks like a cheese pull. That's like unforgivable for me. I feel like, especially with a bright, bold color like this, I want it to look pretty. I want it not to kind of thin in places, thick in others. I want it to wear evenly all over. It feels comfortable. It feels kind of plush, a little pillowy. It's really quite comfortable, and it has a very soft, sweet scent to it. So right off the bat, we'll see what it wears like, but I actually really like this a lot. I've always enjoyed the lipsticks from Estee Lauder. I think their Pure Color Envy line is really beautiful. This is one of their Sculpting cream lipsticks. But they did something different this year for holiday. Take a look at the bullet. Look at that. It's got a little snowflake on it and it has the impression of snowflakes all over. I think this is super cute. They have one nude shade and one red shade. The nude shade is called Intense Nude. What a pretty nude shade. I like that it leans slightly mauve. I really like it. It's right here. I did a new swatch of the gloss because the first swatch I did was very messy. But if you're looking at it here, it almost looks kind of like a mauve tone. It does have a nice subtle shine compared. The gloss is very glossy, but this is a really pretty, comfortable cream lipstick. It has a nice feel on the lips. It's not heavy. It's not sticky. As I'm looking at my lips, they have a subtle shine to them and they feel comfortable. That's exactly what I'm looking for in a cream lipstick. Each of these lipsticks is valued at $33. You're not getting the $33 experience here because this is holiday packaging. It's very lightweight. The product on the inside, I mean, I think that they did a really great job in kind of bringing some sort of holiday fantasy with the embossing on the bullet itself, but this is not the high-end Estee Lauder lipstick case experience that I was hoping for, but this is very traditional holiday packaging. I do have another one of their lipsticks from last year. Where is it? Last year's holiday packaging is like this. They always go with a gold tube. I have several iterations of this, but I'll tell you, the product on the inside is fantastic, although the packaging seems just a little chintzy. It doesn't seem like a $33 lipstick. It seems like the product is good, but if you're gonna charge me $33, I want the full experience. Let's build a beautiful red lip. So their double wear stay in place liner usually comes with a brush on the other end. This right here is valued at $28. A full-size liner would be $28, and again, a lipstick would be $33. But I'm going to put on just a little bit of this. This is one of those formulas that it's a long-wearing liner, but it feels kind of gel and creamy as it goes on. I did a video recently about how I cheat my lip line a little bit. I will link it for you in the eye up here, but I was using a red lip liner. I've never used one of the ones from Estee Lauder before. This is just the shade Red. That's what it's called. What is it? 07 Red. But it's starting to dry and it feels very, very matte, very dry, and I'm feeling almost like there's a layer on my lips. It might help to put a little bit of lipstick over it. This is another one of the Sculpting lipsticks, and like the mauve one, this one has all of those like little imprints of the snowflakes. This shade is called Immortal. Here are all of the swatches. This is shade 07 Red, this is Immortal, this is Intense Nude, and this is Tender Trap. What's interesting is that Tender Trap definitely looks like it's more of a blue red, where Immortal is definitely more of a warm red. And the liner here it's interesting because I feel like when I put the blue red liner down and then the warm red lipstick over the top, I got a completely different look. I definitely feel like it's a really polished look, but I'm really kind of curious what happens if I take all of this off and wear just the lipstick. I really like the way that this red in Immortal looks on its own because I love a warm red lipstick, and that's really what this is. It's kind of a warm leaning red and it's super comfortable. This is one that I definitely see myself reaching for as we head farther into fall and definitely into winter, especially for the holidays. And Estee Lauder always puts a red in their holiday blockbuster. All right, so if we're looking at all of these here, are you noticing how this gloss is kind of, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there? It's not that same smooth layer that it was before. So what I might try is to pair this gloss with this liner and see if having that double wear liner will keep what looks like a gloss that might actually be shifting a little bit from going outside. Now, this is not the same as like the contours of my lips, but I feel like my lips have more of those vertical lines, especially the older I get. And maybe this color might be, I might have to sheer it out a little bit more and maybe get a little bit more oomph of the red from the liner. All right, the last thing I haven't shown you that does come in this set is this. This is the case that all of these products come in, and I always feel that Estee Lauder does a really great job of making a usable bag. It is, you know, kind of like that train case look. I always love the gold accents on it. The ones that I've had in years past, I actually use. I think they're really nice. And this one, I like the fact that it's kind of boxy. The inside is lined in this satin type material. I feel like it has a really nice zipper on here. You know, it's a little bit flexible. It's not completely rigid, but I think that is kind of in its favor. So as you're packing things in here, it might be able to bulge out a little bit if you put a lot of things in. In years past, when you get one of these blockbusters, the bag on the inside usually has a plastic insert that holds everything in there. And this year it didn't do that. I'm just going to mention it because I think this is interesting. It came in this cardboard bag and every item was in here. And it was wrapped in tissue and in little cardboard boxes. They weren't like the boxes you would get if you were getting them at the counter. They're not the unit cartons that they normally come in, but they were wrapped up in tissue paper and in little boxes in here. And I think that's interesting because I'm used to everything coming in this plastic insert that's kind of, you know, all put in there for display purposes. So when you open it up, you see what it is. But the other thing that I noticed is that in the bag here, there is a tag right here that says, I'm recycled. And I think that is like a really cool touch. It says, fabric bag is made of 100% recycled materials. Enjoy this keepsake designed with the environment in mind. I really like that Estee Lauder is using recycled materials to make part of their holiday blockbuster. I love that they're moving into recycled packaging so you don't have to keep buying the same thing over and over again. You can just get the replacement and there's less waste. They did the same thing. Their eyeshadows have been put in reusable packaging. Their blushes are in reusable packaging. And I like that so many companies are thinking about how we can reduce the amount of waste, especially in the beauty industry. So that is fantastic. If we're talking about value for this bag, you're getting 10 full-size items, you're getting 3 minis, and this recycled bag. Now, the value that Estee Lauder puts on it is $570. I think that is the highest price point of any blockbuster I have ever seen. If you start thinking about the prices of other things, $88 for this, $30 for this, 60 some odd dollars for this, if you add it all up, all of the contents that go inside this bag are worth $534.50. Which means that they're valuing this recycled bag at $35.50. And I think that, you know, this is the sort of price that I would expect to see. When I walk into Ulta, I see a lot of large train case bags like this that are running for about that price. Now, normally they'll have like interesting inserts on the inside to hold brushes or other things like little mesh compartments and what have you. But I feel like $35 is not a terrible thing for this size of a makeup bag. And I think that the most important part is I really feel like this is something I will get use out of. It's not just one of those items that is kind of like, nah, I'm not going to use it. If we're talking value, you have to ask yourself, am I going into it for the skincare? Or am I going into it for the makeup? Or if you're like me, I'm gonna use everything but these 2 items here. I'll probably give this to my teenage daughter, and now that I've used this, I really can't do anything with it. But this is, I know, a formula that doesn't work for me the way that I wear mascara and the types of lashes that I have. I know so many people are diehard fans of this formula. It's just not my favorite, and I would rather, you know, try something else. But I'll tell you, everything else, all the other 8 full-size products, even this kind of limited edition holiday cheek palette here, I'm excited about this. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of this because I wear the lightest shade of the Double Wear Radiant Concealer, the shade 0.5. This is what the cheek products look like on me. You can get some intensity from them, but keep that in mind. I really feel like Estee Lauder, since they're making a move towards reusable packaging, thinking about things about environmental friendliness, they have a really wide range of shades for their Double Wear foundation, but I feel like they could do better in expanding their shade range for products like this in their holiday offerings. Is it bad? No. Am I excited to have it? Yes. Am I kind of sad that it's going to work for me and maybe not for somebody with a richer skin tone? Yeah. But if you're thinking about it, if this is the one thing that doesn't work for you out of everything else and you get 9 full-size products that you really like, I think that you're still getting the value there. And what I like is that for the price of one of their most iconic products ever, everybody knows this little brown bottle everywhere you go, you can get this plus a ton of other things. The most important thing to ask yourself is, what are you likely to use? Sometimes I would get lured in by look at all the pretty eyeshadows and lipsticks and what have you, and then, you know, 3 or 4 weeks later or a month later, I really wasn't reaching for them anymore. I like that I'm not getting like a ton of eyeshadows and a ton of, you know, like smaller sample size items, that I'm getting core products for the price of this. $79 is what this costs full price. And that's the cost of this entire Blockbuster after you make your initial $45 purchase. I know I'm gonna use all of the skincare in here, plus the travel size that they send with you. I like that they have travel sizes in here because we're getting back to traveling. I definitely am, and I know that I will take those. I will use all 6 of those products up to the very last. I also feel like these lip products are definitely ones that I'm gonna continue to reach for. I still have like last year's holiday lipsticks out, and I've been reaching for them. I feel like, to me, these are valuable, but I'm a lipstick lover. Lip products are my favorite things, and I'm really excited to try something that I've never tried before. It's been probably more than a decade since I've tried their gloss, so I'm sure this formula is different. And I know I like their Sculpting lipsticks. I know their Pure Color Envy line is gorgeous. And these are 2 shades that I'm gonna get a ton of use out of. They work really well for me and the type of lipstick colors I prefer. I am super excited to see the direction Estee Lauder is going. I know they have been reformulating some of their makeup products. I don't feel like they have as much makeup as they used to have. Is that just me? When I was at the Estee Lauder counter at my local Macy's to pick up this set the other day, I really felt like there was 3/4 skincare and only 1/4 makeup. And I remember in the 90s and early 2000s when I used to use a lot of Estee Lauder products, I remember there being like 3/4 makeup and 1/4 skincare. I feel like there has been a little bit of a shift. If you're one of those people who's been using Estee Lauder for decades, what are your thoughts on that? I am not surprised that this is kind of the thing they hang their hat on, and this is like, for the price of this one thing, you can get all the rest. I really feel like it's a great value, but remember, don't buy it if you're not an Estee Lauder skincare person, or don't buy it if you won't use all 6 of the makeup items in here. I think one way or the other you'll get value out of this, but if, like me, you'll be using all of the skincare and all of the makeup, I feel like me only having 2 things I don't use, it's still worth it to me. The one thing that I wish that they did was, instead of the sort of packaging, you know, doesn't have the brush on the end, it would be really nice if they use the packaging that they sell at full price, like the $33 version of this lipstick, because you are getting the $79 version of their serum. You are getting the $64 version, the refillable version of their face cream. I feel like it would be like one step up, and I'm sure it's more cost effective to produce them this way, but it would be so nice if you just got the full experience. I feel like that's kind of like my only I would love to know, do you look forward to the Blockbuster? Is it your favorite thing? Is it the one thing that you kind of wait for every single year? I was really impressed with the Blockbuster last year. I've used every single skincare item with this. It was gone, you know, before the summer was even started. And I really feel like, for me, this whole set has value. Let me know what your thoughts are about this, about other holiday like sets that come together. Do you love the bonus value that you get out of getting a big set like this? Do you split it up and gift it to other people, or do you keep it for yourself? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon.